We've played a quarter in Foxborough. It's Boston College 7, Syracuse nothing. The quarter ended before they got that last playoff, so they'll have to do it again from the same spot. So it's less than a yard to go with Covington and Gaden and Grimes, the full house backfield for Syracuse. They still need to go to get the first down. And Komet sneaks and he gets it. So they get the first down they needed. They had to do it twice, and I guess in case anybody didn't think they did it the first time, they had to go back and show them again. But the youngster Komet has done a nice job, even though he does not have what you might call the most dominating offense. That's been the history at Syracuse. They live on their defense, and that has been a pretty good catalyst for them this year.
It's only a little thing, but so far every time he's run, he's fallen forward when he's been tackled. And when you fall forward being 6'2", that picks up another yard or two.
Gaden and Covington are the running backs. Schwades and Ciano the split receivers. And they'll lose a yard or two here. Ball starting on the 26-yard line.
Take a look now at Mike Komet. He's going to be tripped really by his own man trying to come out of the backfield.
A loss of 4 on the play. In that first quarter, BC dominating on the ground and in the air. Total, and in the score, 7-0. Second down and 14. Komet, and on the keeper, he lunges for a couple more.
Same situation we talked about a moment ago. He has not yet gone down, falling backwards, and this time extends his frame, takes the ball out in front of him with both hands to get up very, very close to that original line of scrimmage.
Dick McPherson, he's the head man, played his college ball at Springfield. First down, dominance by Boston College so far. 7-0 they lead. Schwades, far side, Covington, Gaden the running back, Ciano near side. 3rd and 10, and flags. And oh my, they're starting to get to it down there, and they believe there might be a delay call here, as time had expired on the clock that they give you to initiate your offense. And let's see, get the official word from the referee.
There was no penalty.
No penalty. What was that all about, says Tim Green. I mean, he's just kind of like spectating right now.
Well, they do have 25 seconds to get the play off.
There's the man. He is a legit Lombardi Trophy candidate. What a career he's had. Schwades split far, Ciano near. Syracuse with the ball, 3rd and 10 at the 26-yard line. Big rush on Komet. And no way he's going to come out of that one. Dave Thomas, the senior, 225-pounder, bounding about down there, was the man that got to him first. But you can go to any one of a number of people. And they've got some good ones. Johnny Bosa, he's in there. The Eagle defense has sacked the opposing quarterback several times, as you can see.
Everyone's waiting on the decision to see what McPherson is going to do here. Real good field position for Syracuse on this possession with the interception. Got the ball on the BC 39-yard line. Have not been able to move more than 10 yards, though.
Chuck Gorecki has come out of there now from Boston College. They've come to a nickel situation. And Komet is going to come over here and take a timeout as he wants to talk to Dick McPherson. So with a timeout and 12:10 to play in the half, it's Boston College 7, Syracuse nothing on USA Sports. 7 and Syracuse nothing. This is Sullivan Stadium, and we have a jam-packed house here today in Foxborough, Massachusetts. This is the home of the Patriots. I'm sure they would love to see this kind of a crowd here on most Sundays. Boy, it's a lively one, too. 4th down and 14.
Ciano with the reception has single coverage against him. It was Neil Eiton trying to provide the coverage. Eiton had his back turned to the pass. It was lofted in the air. Take a look as Komet goes back. He'll softly loft the ball, single coverage on the outside. Eiton has no idea where Ciano is turning to. Ciano turns to the outside, makes the reception. We've got a first down inside the 10 for the Orangemen.
That was a big, big play. They keep their drive going. They're down, knocking on the door, as they say, and commits. Diving down inside the 3-yard line. Tony Thurman, the free safety. Thurman, incidentally, last week was involved with 20 tackles, and he had 10 solos. And he just got his nose into the action here today.
Second and goal at the 3-yard line.
Second and goal at the 3. Perrell, another defensive lineman, will come in and join that front rush, and they'll bring Thurman out. 8 for 17 yards. Covington, Gayden, and Grimes, they go with a full house backfield. Second and 3 from the 3. Not quite.
Big John Boza getting the penetration in the backfield for Syracuse.
And Jamie Covington going down hard. This man has rushed for 2,100 plus yards during his career at Syracuse. He is from the Queens in New York. And now a change in the offensive line. Hans Biederker has come in, replacing Tom Stevens.
McNell wants a timeout. I don't think anyone has seen it on the field. Now finally they call it just before Syracuse starts calling signals.
And so Boston College gets the timeout. They want to adjust their defense. BC has not been known to be one of your better defensive teams. They have
give up about 370 yards a game. That's
a lot. And 23.4 points a game. And they have been questioned. That's not just us talking. That's their own coach, who was very displeased in the loss to Army, or the win to Army last week. They beat Army 45-31, but they had a big lead and gave it up in the second half. Timeout. Boston College 7, Syracuse nothing. And he doesn't get it. Peter Holy, the linebacker, was there. Johnny Bosa was there. Comets try to run it in. Neil Eiton and Chuck Gorecki, all members of that BC defense. Yeah, they do give up a lot of yards, but it looks like they're coming together here at the right time, at least thus far. This defense has been very questioned, often questioned, and against the rush this year, giving up about 212 yards a game. 4th and 1 from the 1. Harold Gayden, and he's got 6 points for Syracuse. So Syracuse has come back. And the key on the drive was that big 4th and 14 call with a little over 12 minutes to play. And the big pass to Ciano that got him inside the 10-yard line.
Take a look at that full T backfield. Harold Gayden following those blocks up front. Roland Grimes, number 48, being a key one, playing fullback there. And another angle. This is what it looks like from that middle linebacker spot, as Boston College just unable to move with any penetration, despite the fact they brought a second nose guard in there.
And now in to kick, McCauley. And that's another part of the Syracuse story. He is now 33 for 33 career. They have a streak of 123 consecutive PATs that goes all the way back to 1978. It's tied 7-7 in Foxborough. Here at the Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And some drive here by the Syracuse Orangemen when it looked like they were stalled a big, and I mean big, 4th down and 14 situation, and a pass from Comets to Ciano that kept it going, and eventually the score on that 1-yard Gayden dive, and a point after, and they've now tied it. Steve Williams and Ken Bell will be deep to receive now for Boston College. It'll be McCauley kicking up into the wind. The wind has shifted just a tad, and McCauley now will try and orchestrate a kick here away from the man he does not want to go to, and I would assume that would be Bell. Bell is a very fine kick returner. 24.6 yards per return. In fact, he's among the leaders, and now you get a look at the flag standing straight out. A little cross. The left-handed kicker or the left-footed kicker goes with the wing a little bit. And that is Bell. And 25-yard line. He is number 7 in the nation in kick returns. And Vic Bellamy finally pulls him down, but you could just tell by the way he was starting to get it going, Kyle, that he is a good one.
Here's the kickoff coming by McCauley, and the ball does go to Bell. BC kickoff return team, a little bit of an overload so they can get the ball to Bell. Pretty good moves to get up to just outside the 25-yard line.
Doug Flutie, 1st and 10. Stratford. Chip Green was there. And also we have one of the linebackers involved. Another score in that game. Florida 9, Kentucky 3. And Brown Columbia 7-7. Ohio State Michigan 7-0. Ohio State in the second quarter. Obviously the kicker wasn't left-footed. I was looking out of the wrong eye. Phelan and Dombrowski on the far side, coming back in motion now is Phelan. 2nd and 9. Incomplete. And that is Sean Dombrowski, who is a sophomore, 185. And that is the 5th straight incompleted pass for Doug Flutie. So Syracuse and that great pass defense starting to tighten up.
Yeah, I think Flutie started off with 5 consecutive completions. And again, Syracuse being satisfied just rushing 4 people, letting their down linemen be double teamed by the offensive line of BC, but trying to double coverage the Eagle receivers.
Flutie out of the shotgun. He is 2 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. And that is complete as Gerard Phelan is up over the 40-yard line. Now Flutie wanting a little bit more time to get away from that rush. Sets up in the shotgun and it works.
Well, it's a shotgun and it's a Flutie favorite as Phelan, who's Flutie's roommate, gets the first down. Number 3 in the nation with about 6 catches a name. Number 72, Green there, being picked off pretty well by Sean Regent. Number 54, left tackle.
1st and 10, live action. And on the attempt to skirt the outside, Stratford going up against Rudy Reed, a 216-pound linebacker of Dick McPherson's from Mansfield, Ohio. He gets maybe 3 on it. Ball is on the 45-yard line. 2nd and 7. 8:31 to play in the half. If you just joined in, it's a 7-7 tie. And so far, real good. Flutie had gone 0 for 5 there at one stretch. Now he's 6 for 11 for 90 yards. 1 interception. Yet to go for the touchdown pass. Phelan and Martin, his receivers on the far side. Solo running back. And a whistle and a flag, and as he tries to give it to the running back, Strachan, he gets nothing. Well, according to the numbers, you have to get Syracuse in the first half. They don't give up many in the second half. They've only given up 3 touchdowns total, passing and rushing all year in the second half. What was the last call?
Dead ball, delay, offense, repeat, 2nd down.
Second delay of game penalty against Boston College. That has not been their trend this season. Always been able to avoid silly penalties like that.
2nd down and 12 at the 40-yard line. Ken Bell from the slot left in motion. Flutie with Green chasing. And there's Kimmel. Strachan, the big fullback. You talk about a reaction on a busted play. Nowhere to go and under an immense rush by the 2 linchpins of that defense, and he still found an open man.
We got 7 people in the defensive backfield trying to cover only about 3 receivers, but Strachan had stayed in to block for a little bit. Strachan releases, as a good running back will do when he sees his quarterback under pressure, makes a nice over-the-shoulder catch, picks up some blocks from those receivers, and moves all the way down a busted play. Just no way to keep Flutie in the pocket. 1st
and 10. We've got Phelan and Darren Flutie on the far side. Try the middle. Ted Gregory, Rudy Reed, Jeff Knopf, they were all in there. That last pass play, incidentally, a 19-yarder for Doug Flutie. And now that Syracuse has escaped their fatal first quarters, 52-6, they're in the second here. career against Syracuse. You see the 37% we talked about. And he's not had a lot of success against this team. That's made for a very interesting series indeed. Phelan near side. Martin far side. Flutie on a play action. Oh my! He was bent over. Kimmel was there. Number 83 and Tim Green again. Boy, those two fellas make a pretty nice sandwich when you consider the fact that they've got such a prize like Mr. Flutie between the bread.
Well, they finally keep Flutie in the pocket, and this is what they want to happen. Make sure the pocket is ever closing. It starts out large, closes, 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 and now all three people are there at one time, and they generally leave a fourth person, whoever's being double teamed, back just a few yards to try to pick up Flutie when he begins to scramble. 3rd
and 16, they go to the shotgun from the 47. Flutie wanted the time, he's going to get the time, and he's going to run. Inside the 35-yard line, Jim Gorzalski. They had the nickelback situation. He's the man in usually. Lee, Bellamy, Hobby, Gorzalski, and Roos. And Flutie sizing and Bicknell thinking, what now? Flutie on running attempts, 4 for 24. They're down inside the 35-yard line to the 33. They've got a 4th down and 2. Bicknell had indicated perhaps kick. And now Boston College is going to take a timeout. So Boston College calls for time with 5:56 in the half. It's tied. Eagles 7, Syracuse 7. Eddie Doucette, Kyle Rote Jr. It's a 4th down and 2 with a 7-7 ball game. Ball on the 32. BC with the decision. Coach Kyle, what do you think?
Well, I think you go on a rollout to give Mr. Flutie a chance to either run for it or to pass for it.
Phelan far side, Ken Bell near side, set up his pass receivers. Bell on the wing. Flutie on a roll. Oh my! Intended for Strachan, and a very active defense right there. The entire secondary involved with good defensive secondary rotation of the ball.
It is the rollout, and Flutie has the pass run option here, but it's David Lee, number 20, who tips the ball just before it goes into the waiting hands of Steve Strachan. And the turnover. There's David Lee. We'll hear from him during our halftime as we talk about defense today.
Ball on the 34. Turn it over to Syracuse now. The defense is held. 1st and 10 commits. And Harold Gaden, the running back, runs right into the waiting arms of Mike Ruth. Norristown, Pennsylvania. He is a fellow that wanted to become a priest and may still. But he had a college career that he wanted to pursue also. And the man can bench press over 500 pounds. That's Gaden and Covington together. Schwade's near side. Covington, Gaden, the running backs in the eye. Ciano in motion. Covington trying to stretch that far side of the defensive line. Scott Harrington, one of the tri-captains and the senior from Westwood, Massachusetts, the tackler.
Take a look inside at Mike Ruth trying to play off the block of Mr. Simcoe, the center. Jamie Covington, another in the long line of great backs out of Syracuse. People like Ernie Davis, Larry Zonka, Jim Brown. Jim Brown's record here at Syracuse just broken by Jamie Covington last week.
3rd and 2 on the 41. Ruth assisting Harrington on that last tackle. Commence on the keeper.
Doesn't get it this time.
Incidentally, we might add that Boston College with only 1 timeout remaining in the half, Syracuse with 2. We have 4:25 to play in the half, and it's tied at 7-all. You expected a big, wide open offensive game out of Boston College? Well, Syracuse had something else in mind. They have a very fine defense. Kelvin Martin now will stand deep for BC. He'll be looking up into the sun. There he is, standing at the 24-yard line. So far, kicking, Jim Fox has 2. He's averaging 38 yards per kick. Martin. And He fields cleanly and then scampers OB at a 24-yard line. So Tim Green will come back with the defense of Syracuse. And right behind him, the nose guard, Ted Gregory. And they'll set it up with Green, Gregory, Knopf on the front rush. Pennsylvania 7 and Cornell nothing in the first quarter. College football 84 scores for you. Holy Cross, a good club, trailing Maine 7-0. Princeton, Dartmouth 7-zip. Ivy League play. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line now. Flutie. And the tailback cutting back. That's Stradford. Jerry Allen runs him out of bounds, but what a fine cutback by Troy Stradford.
You can't ask for any more. Not only does he get the first down, but with gliding moves a la O.J. Simpson, is able to get himself out of bounds to stop that clock. As we see him move up the field, well past the first down marker, and with Flutie having over 3 minutes to go, this is danger time for the Syracuse Orangemen and their defensive unit.
1st and 10. Flutie again. Tim Pigeon, a linebacker, was there defending against Phelan that time. And it'll go as an incomplete pass. Incidentally, Stratford has run for 51 yards today. Flutie so far passed for 109. Rhode Island and Connecticut 6-0 first quarter. UConn. Virginia trailing North Carolina 7-0. That's also in the first quarter. New Hampshire, UMass 7-7. Phelan far side. Martin near side. 2nd down 10 on the 36-yard line. Fumble. And Flutie quickly recovers. Well, he made a smart decision there, Kyle. Rather than try and pick it up and get back to the original idea, he just pounced in the ball and sacrificed the risk of taking another chance of maybe losing it again.
Right, it was a turnover on his earlier interception that set up the touchdown for Syracuse, as Mike Kometz trying to keep himself warm. Keep those legs particularly warm, as he's done a good job of running the ball.
What are you doing to keep warm? Phelan and Flutie near side. 3rd and 12 at the 34-yard line. On the roll, Phelan can't hang on. Vic Bellamy, the strong safety. And Flutie now is having a little bit of a problem here. He's completed 2 of his last 10 attempts.
Watch the secondary rotation. We've got 7 people coming back to help out. Got deep coverage behind both deep receivers. The ball thrown a little bit short in this swirling wind, and don't discount the fact that the wind chill factor. Eddie told you we've got a little over 30-degree weather, but with almost a 30-mile-an-hour wind, a bad punt.
Short kick, Schwades and Ewald. We're back to receive, and it takes a bounce for Syracuse. Strachan on the coverage, and they end up downing the ball on BC's side of the 50-yard line. So not a good kick at all, only 14 yards net. And that was not a good effort at all for BC, and they had a little wind behind them that time. Under pressure, Steve Peach could not deliver. Coming up at halftime, we'll have some interesting things for you, and we'll tell you about those in a moment. 1st and 10, ball at the 48-yard line. Kometz with Gaden and Covington, the running backs, out of the split. Schwades far side. Nice poise for the young quarterback. And he goes to the tight end, Jim Tate. Todd Russell, the cornerback. Tate did a nice job to hang on, but Kometz showing good poise under fire.
In the pros, many times they'd blow the whistle right there. Is he in the grasp? Well, not for very long. He sees that he's going to get hit. Despite that, keeps his eye on the receiver. And toss wasn't beautiful, but it was effective.
2:25 to play in the half. 1st and 10. 7-7 tie. That's Jamie Covington. John Bosa, one of the tacklers. Mike Ruth was also around the ball. Number 36, Peter Holy, the linebacker, coming up off the pile. And there he is, Jamie Covington, who's been a real good one. The leading rusher here the last 3 years. Our last telecast that we had against the Nebraska ball club, Covington was the man. And they don't really have a lot of depth at those running backs. one of these guys goes down, and they got some problems. Second down and 7 or 6. All on the 17. Holy the linebacker, hanging on is Kometz. Isn't it interesting how Kometz emerged actually from the scout team? This fellow was the scout team quarterback. Todd Norley went down on Dick McPherson with a shoulder separation after that great effort against Nebraska. Then the other youngster they used, the freshman,
Don McPherson. McPherson, yes, separated his shoulder.
So they had 2 separated shoulders, lots of problems, and Kometz has stepped right into the breach, and they've won 3 in a row with him.
Well, this is a situation that perhaps we've mentioned that Doug Flutie came into, very similar, very early in his career.
There he is, 6'2", 196 pounds, right in the middle of the eye now. They've got another defensive lineman in. Gaden, Grimes, and Covington. Full house backfield on a 3rd and 1. Ball on the 12. That's Harold Gaden. He's got the first down and more. Bill Romanowski, freshman linebacker. Make sure that he doesn't go any further, but they get the first down, and it's 1st and goal with 1:05, and now Boston College up against a real big challenge.
Oh, when Gaden scored the touchdown, it was the same play, kind of an off-tackle choice. He sees that he's got more space to the outside, though the blocking came inside. Either way, he knew he was going to get the first down, and he felt perhaps he had a chance to break it to the outside with a BC defense stacked so much on the inside.
Syracuse has been messengering the guards with some of the plays. Now Wiedeker has come in for Tom Stevens. Jack Bicknell checking to see who the injured player is. Some of his people coming off the field. Romanowski, the freshman linebacker, and as we'd mentioned before, Kyle, they can ill afford to lose one because they are already thin there. Well, Ted Gaffney is out. Van Essen is out. They've got Andy Hemmer they could bring in, or a John Galvin, but they really don't have many more than that. They're really thin at the linebacker position.
And with that kind of inexperience, this is Romanowski's first start, or last week was his first start, so this is only his 2nd game playing that position.
Andy Hemmer's come in, and now they go full house again with Grimes, Gaden, and Covington. 1st and 7 at the 7-yard line. Harold Gaden on the cutback. Inside the 5, not quite to the 4. Harold Gaden running the ball. And now for Gaden, 7 carries, 21 yards, 3 yards per. And I think that Syracuse doing a nice job of mixing their offense up. You know they're not going to pass a lot. Their real strength offensively, if they have one, is the rush. But they've mixed it pretty well so far here and have kept Boston College defense honest.
Well, they're not sure what the setup is here, as they're going to have to use one of their 2 timeouts. You had part of the backfield setting up in an I. You had another part of the backfield setting up in the T formation.
So the timeouts now are down to 1 each. And we have 18 seconds to play here in the first half. Hey, this is some football game. 7-7 tie. This is not the kind of a game you want to go away from.
No, and
if you're watching, you want to stay right where you are.
No one would be surprised if Syracuse is able to upset Boston College today. BC about an 8-point favorite in this game, but with those big emotional efforts that Syracuse has shown us this season, Boston College is certainly not at all invincible.
Well, last year, of course, Syracuse beat BC 21-10. That was the day that Stradford had the big rushing day, 147 yards, but Flutie could not do much. He only had 114 yards passing.
Yeah, and that really, BC come into that game last year 7-1. It really ruined their chances for a New Year's Day bowl. And Stratford had a good day that day, about 150 yards. What did you say, Flutie had 110, 114?
114. BC's defense played well that day also. Syracuse only had 118 yards on the ground. But now they need 4.5 to get in for their 2nd touchdown. 2nd and 5, can they do it? Covington and Gaden are the running backs. Big rush! He has to eat the football. Dave Pereira coming through on a safety blitz that time. And they chew up some time, and they're down to 11 seconds and a 4th down situation coming up. They held.
There's single coverage on the outside, and Kometz trying to find an open receiver. Doesn't even have time to set up as he's got to eat the ball because of that pressure by Pereira. Pereira, known as very, very hard tackler, has caused 4 or 5 fumbles already this year.
And now, Kyle, Syracuse has taken their only remaining time out of the half. They've used their timeouts very strategically, and it comes at a most opportune moment because there are only 11 seconds remaining in the half. And if they decide to kick, it would be Mr. McCauley coming in the ball game to do so. He is 14 for 18 on kicking assignments this year if they decide to go that way, field goal kicking assignments.
Well, clearly they, with third down, they've got one more down if they want to. They can't afford to complete a pass unless it's a touchdown. So the situation is, do you give this young, inexperienced quarterback, number 7, Mike Kometz, the freedom to do a little rollout pattern? If the man's not open, throw it away to stop the clock. And apparently that's what Coach McPherson is going to do. It's a lot of pressure on a young quarterback.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it'll bring on a 3rd and 14 situation on the 14-yard line. Well, the clock was wrong, so it's 3rd down and 14. Kometz. No flag, I don't see any. As Schwades was the intended receiver, and he was held up going in there in a pretty good bumping play by Neil Eiton as he tried to take it in, and now they'll bring on McCauley.
Well, you saw McPherson with his hands up in the air. It's almost the sucker play. It's a sucker type pass. You want to see the penalty being thrown.
31-yard field goal attempt by Don McCauley. Slightly off at an angle, set to the left side. And it is good. And with 2 seconds remaining in the half, Syracuse, using their downs and their timeouts perfectly, has taken a 3-point lead. Boston College will have 2 seconds to do something with a kickoff. And right now, Syracuse looking to take a 10-7 lead to the halftime locker room session. So a most interesting first half, with Boston College scoring first on their first possession, and then Syracuse, when it looked like they were stalled on a potential drive, came up with a big 4th and 14 play on a pass from Kometz to Ciano, a 21-yard pass to keep it alive. They eventually scored, and now they come back with a 3-pointer and lead 10-7.
Well, what's helped them also has been the short punt that gave them the possession on BC's 48. Both times they've received the ball inside BC territory, they've gone down and scored. Got the touchdown the first time from Gaydon, as you mentioned, and also this late field goal by McCauley with 2 seconds left.
It'll be Steve Williams, who averages 19 yards a kick on returns, and Ken Bell, who's good for 24.6 yards a return. You just see McCauley there, and ought to give him a little credit because he's part of a pretty good kicking tradition at Syracuse. We already mentioned the fact that they've not missed an extra point since 1978. And this year now, McCauley is 15 for 19 from field goal range. Here he is kicking. A Sailor. And Bell going down on one knee to make sure he caught the ball, touched, and that's exactly where it's going to be down. So there's 1 second remaining here in the half.
What he's saying is, I wish I were playing in the pros. In the pros, the clock would not be stopped. He would not be considered down. With that right knee on the ground, as Eddie told you, trying to keep the ball from going by him. And anytime anything other than a hand or foot touches the ground, they're going to blow that whistle.
So Boston College now getting set to take one last shot at it here in the first half. They've had 8 first downs in the first half. They need more than that right now.
Well, they're in the victory offense formation, which means a little quarterback sneak here.
Just hang on to the ball is all they're going to do, and that's what they're hoping, just to protect anything from happening before halftime. We still have an entire half of football left, and it's going to be good. We'll have a feature on defense, we'll have a Wall Street Weekend memo, and we have a 10-7 Syracuse lead at halftime.